This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. Joe Castello back with you on WFO Radio podcast. Big show today. Big show. 16-time NHRA Funny Car Champion John Force just seconds away. We're going to connect with John. John's doing the rounds. He's talking to everybody. He's fired up. He's excited. He's going back racing in 21, and we are all super excited. I mean, if you like drag racing, you're super excited that the Force family and John Force Racing going to be back out on the racetrack. So if you're out there watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the WFO Radio podcast, share the show. Let's get it out there. Let's get the word of what John's got to say out there on the show. Before we bring on the champ, I do want to give a shout out to the people who make it possible for me to sit around and do drag racing interviews all day long, like Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology, Matt Hartford. He's going to be trying to win that championship this year. We've got a podcast for them called Hidden Horsepower, learning so much about ring seal and how important it is. If you're building an engine, TotalSeal.com. Also, samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, the next generation of kids who want to get involved with drag racing. Like the next generation of crew members and crew chiefs and machinists and CNC programmers. They're all coming up through samtech.edu. Really appreciate them. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. You can drive a dragster the weekend after the Gatornationals. They have a class. You just show up with nothing. And Frank provides everything, the dragster, the helmet, everything, and you can race and have a good time. Check them out, frankhawley.com. And Marvin Rodak's coffeeandgrills.com down there in Fort Worth, Texas. Got to say, 817-924-6821. But they're having a tough go of it, our friends in Texas. And I want to say to all of our friends down there in Texas, fans, friends, family, Marvin, everybody who's dealing with cold weather, no power, no water, we're thinking about you. I come from hurricane country. I know what it's like. You just got to do the right thing, stay inside, protect yourself, and it will pass. You'll get out of it. But all the best to all you folks out there. And we are thinking about you, Texas. All right, let's not go any further without bringing in the man. He is the 16-time NHRA Funny Car Champ, and he's back for NHRA Camping World Drag Racing, Mr. John Force. John, how you doing? Welcome back.
Joe, good to see you. Excited to be here. Love to be working again, getting back in the groove, talking out to the fans, pitching the sponsors, and going drag racing. West Palm Beach first and on to the Gatornationals. So new sponsor, Camping World. Pretty excited because it's been, it's funny. The world's changed. The last time we did did this show, we were on a phone. And That's how we did it for years. And now, you got your own show and seeing your pretty face, not my so pretty face, but good to be here.
Well, I'm thrilled to speak with you. I think about you all the time. And the technology, the pandemic, there were definitely some good, positive technology things that came out of it. This, Zoom, our show, the listeners, it's going around the world. Everybody loves to be able to see. I got to tell you, I can see that you're kind of skinny, John. John, you're skinny, you slimmed down, John.
Well, yeah, I had plenty of time. And, I've been running the roads for 40 years out here racing, loving it. NHRA drag racing. You lose yourself. You know what I mean? Put on a lot of weight. Never had time to get in the gym. Never could eat right. Got on Nutrisystem back in March when Gainesville closed and lived on it for the last year. I lost 25 pounds. Feel pretty good, but worked out in my gym. I was able to live in there every other day. And let me tell you, I needed the gym more than ever. In football with the Colts, they call it stigma. That means depression. You get into it in this world. That's why our kids need to go back to school, our grandchildren. But I lived in the gym. I'm no Robert Height and I'm no Hagen. I ain't pretending to be, but I'm in good shape. I'm ready to go drag racing. I've got all my sponsors behind me, my teams. I lost a few, but I got all my leads. We're excited about it. I'm going to focus on two funny cars, Robert Height with Auto Club and myself with the Peak Chevrolet and Brittany with Monster Energy and Flavor Pack and Top Fuel. And we're going to focus on those three cars and we're going racing. And we're going to go back, get our minds right and do what we came for, NHRA, and entertain the sponsors and take care of that new sponsor Camping World, we're with Jayco with my grandkids with trailers, so it fits right into Camping World. So life's good.
Yes, Camping World. We're very excited about it. Marcus has been a favorite of mine just through entertainment. Grew up in Miami, where the South Florida area where I'm from. And so I'm excited to see what he thinks of the sport. From what I know, John, he hasn't seen nitro cars in person. He hasn't had that experience yet. He made the deal without having the experience yet. This guy's going to freak out.
Well, let me tell you, he didn't get to where he got without knowing what we do. He wouldn't invest in anything, even NHRA, as great as it is, without knowing, what it's all about. This guy comes from the TV world. I don't know him personally. I've seen his shows, and he built this Camping World. And let me tell you something. He gets it, and we're really excited to have him on the team.
I'm excited about it also. All right, so I know you've answered the question a lot, but the gym, you lived in the gym and all, but like, what were you doing when the races were on? That had to drive you crazy. It had to be a nightmare. We know why. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forwards. We understand what happened in 21. Everybody did whatever they had to do to survive, period, moving forward. But when the races were on, did that tear your guts out?
In the beginning, my wife knew I hated it. I sat down because I wanted to be there so bad. I felt like I let everybody down. John Force Racing wasn't there, and I'd been there for 40 years. And I just really felt like, and I thanked, I called Schumacher when they won the championship. I called Torrance. I told Dickie Venables, tell Hagan I couldn't reach him, tell him great job because they helped keep me mentally alive, Robert and Brittany. It's what we do to stay in the fight game. So to be able to see it on TV, Brian did a great job with the TV show with NHRA, keeping it out there, keeping the sport alive. I had no choice. I had to set it out. It was my call. My sponsors are all still with me. Bottom line, at the end of the day, I had to drop a team. So in the end of it, I want to make it clear, Austin Prock still works for me. I want to tell anybody that's out there, I want him to stay with me. He'll be testing in our cars, and I'm trying to bring that sponsorship back. The company is still with us. Frank Teagues, that owns Flavor Pack, which shares the duties with Monster on Brittany's Top Fuel team. But Montana brand was very key, but for reasons, we had to set it aside for a while. Green left us, and Barlam will run that car when that car comes back. He's still with us. And if Proc's here, he'll drive it. I'm not giving any guarantees. I don't want to be misleading.
Sure.
He will be testing in our car, but if somebody was to get hurt or tip over at my age, Proc can drive a funny car or Top Fuel. And I know he wants to drive. He's a young gun. I know he wants to drive. He's got everything that it takes. And bottom line, I hope he stays with us. But if he gets a shot, I know he wants to take it. You can't blame him, even with another team. Great kid, and Robert loves him. Brittany, we all do here at John Force Racing. But he's still with us. He'll be working on his dad's car with Auto Club and Robert.
Well, exactly. And I was thinking about it. Alan Reinhart comes on WFO Radio each week. We're speculating a little bit about just Austin's mental state. Like, it's got to be disappointed to be there and then not be there. But isn't that part of drag racing? And his dad is the crew chief in the sport, works with Robert. He's going to be able to work on the team. He's right in position. You have, you've said, there's limited John Force left at some point. You are going to hang it up. Like, it makes sense to continue to learn. I know he's bummed out, but we are post-pandemic now, or coming out of it. Things are going to get better. Sponsors are going to reawaken. And when that happens, I was so proud of you that you tweeted out you're getting vaccinated. I was like, look at John Force showing the world he's not afraid.
When I leave your show, I already had the first shot. I got it out in Irvine. That was about 3 weeks ago. Even Austin Coyle went there and got his. And I go back today. I go in at 3:30. So as soon as I get off your show, I'm heading in my car down there to get the shot. And, at my age, I believe in it. I follow what they teach us, the science. We social distance. We wear face masks. I'm not here right now. Sarah's 10 feet across the room. But basically, we want to be out there. The only drag race that I've done at all is going to watch Autumn and my granddaughter and Jacob and Noah and race. We just come back from Verona this week. I was amazed. Drag racers are a special breed. 130 entries down there. And of course, my grandkids went down because they won at Vegas. And Noah won the 4-wide. Didn't even know what it was, and he won it. And he got a jacket. My daughter Ashley got me a jacket. So I put it in my museum. I'm really proud of it. Says Noah Hood, and he won the 4-wide. But Autumn's won, and Jacob's won. So we're excited, to be getting back into that mode of racing. That's what we live for. And it's been tough. And TV, I thank Brian. TV carried me. I rooted the losers. I rooted for the winners. I love just watching the show. And thank you for having me on your show today.
Well, I think it's great, and you're going to juice up our numbers here on WFO Radio Podcast, and hopefully everybody will subscribe on Apple Podcasts and listen to we're not NHRA, we're unaffiliated, but we're affiliated. But, it's a little bit different program over here. I got to say, I'm thrilled that you're out there racing and that the grandkids, they're all into it as well. They love it. They've got this passion. Did you learn anything from being the person on the couch? I find if I don't announce at an event and I watch on NHRA.TV or the TV show on Fox, that I notice things that the next time I'm there, I'm able to use that perspective. Was there anything that you said to yourself, man, I'm going to do something a little different? Because I now know what it's like to be the guy watching.
I've always studied the racing because I want to watch my drivers. I want to listen to the interviews to make sure we got the sponsor plugs in there, like Cornwell and Flavor Pack and all these people, Parker Store, Baldwin Fillers. I've been pitching them all this morning. I'm excited about it. But, watching TV, you learn a lot. But I'm amazed how, with the pandemic going on and the lack of 100% crowds, the show that NHRA put on, Safety Safari being on, everything went with the hitch. Only thing was missing was me, Robert, and Brittany, and Proc in his top fuel car. And it was like, wow, just watching it. It's different. At first it was stressful, and then I became a bigger fan than I already was. Watching the show, it was fun, and I could really get into it. The only other sporting event, I watched the Super Bowl because of Tom Brady, because he's 100 years old like me and still winning. And that's why I got in shape. I got, physical. Don't get me wrong. I ain't no Robert Height. I ain't no Hagen. You know what I mean? But for a guy my age, I'm in pretty good shape. I got my weight down. That'll help my race car. And I'm going to get back in the fight. We're going after winning with all these cars. But I was excited. Frank Teagues owns a Montana brand and Flavor Pack. But I got to be clear. Nobody quit me last year. Not Auto Club, not Monster, and not Peak or Chevrolet. It was about us financially making it. You know what I mean? And we didn't know where it was going. And I've got a big operation. You know what I'm saying? And we were able to keep the leads. I lost a few people, but we can bounce back because winning what it's all about. And if we can't win, I don't want to go. I don't care when I'm not driving. If we can't win, there's no reason to be a drag racer. If you don't believe in your heart, you can win because everybody does. Everybody gets that chance at that trophy. So, at the end of the day, we looked at it. We went through the second quarter. I talked to my sponsors. I can't fulfill the contracts. There's things that I need to do to you to help you sell product, and I can't get the job done. And I don't know how without just, taking your money, because there was a lot of things that we do that a lot of race teams don't do. So in the middle of it, we come to agree to reset to next year. And that's why we did park the top fuel car with Montana brand. And when Frank decides where this thing's going, then we'll look at bringing that back. And I hope Proc's still here with us because they love him. So at the end of the day, it's what we're doing. I can sit here and just keep making excuses what happened.
Not necessary.
That's what matters to me.
But I really don't think that's necessary. And given what you have done in the sport, for the sport. Like, okay, for instance, one of the big things that happened during the pandemic was Snake's book, right? And everybody was super excited about Snake's book. And so I read Snake's book. I don't know if you had the time to read it or not, but I did. And I thought about you a lot. I talked to Tobler the other day, and I thought about Tobler a lot because, like, you guys were the young guys growing up kind of in the wake of all of this happening. Like, this was happening a little ahead of you, and you came right in the wake. And Snake talks about you in the book. It's all glowing, calls you the GOAT, the whole thing. But the love and the passion for this sport and the want to continuously deliver, and knowing at times that, you know, you might not, it's not financially smart to go out and spend every dime on drag racing, and then you can't race anymore. So my question, did you consider calling it quits? Like 150 wins, last race you won Indy, let's retire. Like, now that you're not, did you consider it?
All we do is race. Now my children do it. Now my grandchildren. I had a new grandbaby, the Rahal family with my daughter, Courtney. Bobby Rahal's son, Graham, drives IndyCar. We got Harlan Rahal, beautiful little girl, just love her to death. I've got these grandchildren, and they all love motorsports. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. So I can't quit. I don't have any hobbies. I don't fish. I don't golf. I hate vacations. You know what I mean? I don't hate them, but I don't want to go. I want to work every day. I've got my museum, which I've been redesigning. I'm going to Indy next week. I'm going to look at that museum there. Things of our history that I want to do. I want to make sure my grandchildren see their parents, what they did as crew chiefs and drivers. Daniel Hood, Jacob and Noah's dad runs the car. But that's all we do. Robert and I would go to work every day. You know who's the happiest about going back? One, my wife, Lori, to get me out of the house. And two, Robert Hyde. He sits in these meetings, and what he can say in one sentence and get the point across, I say 20 times. And it drives him crazy. But he's run with me on the financial side. He was an accountant. He works with Johnny Lou, my guy. And they found us how to survive the year and keep our people. And I'm amazed the people stood by me. Frank Teagues is looking at this whole thing, where the sport is going, how it's going to return, but he's still with us. The Montana brand's still on my car. They don't own a complete car, or trust me, Brock could be driving it. But it's hard to pitch a sponsor when you don't know where it's going. Not racing. We know racing's going to survive. I saw that down at Verona. You know what I'm saying? All them people down there, motor coaches, trailers everywhere.
Right.
But how do you tell a sponsor what you're going to do? We're just going straight ahead, and I'm glad I'm part of it. And I want to make it clear. I feel like, I let my fans down. I feel like I let the race teams down. I want to thank all of you. God bless you for keeping our sport alive, keeping the TV alive, you keeping it alive. So we're going to be back to help grow it, and I'm going to stick around a while. And the next time I leave, I'm either going to be totally broke and be done, or I'm going to fall over dead. Otherwise, I'm riding this thing out.
That's great. Hear that, folks? John Force is giving out money. Here we go. We got celebrities out there watching, John. Daryl Gwynn is out there watching WFO Radio. Also, Larry Spider-Man McBride is out there watching WFO Radio. A lot of drag racers watching John's appearance here on WFO Radio. So what's this about Harlan becoming an IndyCar driver? How can you let this happen, John?
Because let me tell you, this baby is a Rahal. Bobby Rahal, you ought to be proud. It don't look like a Force. It looks like Courtney. You know what I mean? But I mean, dark black hair. It just, when I saw it, I said, that ain't my grandkid. You know what I mean? It looked like Rahal, and just, boy, such fire in the belly. You know what I mean? Just the way she gets hyper. And I said, oh, boy, there's a drag racer right there. And Graham said, Force, don't ever say that, because it ain't going to happen. So he's thinking the other direction.
Sure.
But we're having fun. They're back in Florida right now. He's testing, and Courtney's there with him, and Harlan. And it just, my family's growing. I love it. And it gives me life. It gives me reason. My grandkid gave me that jacket for the 4-wide. Noah did. Jacob gave me a trophy, and so did Autumn. And that is the best feeling in the world. So next to working on my museum and going to work every day and driving Robert nuts. Oh, we had a few meltdowns. He got up in my face. I thought he was going to punch me out.
Really?
He's big enough. He could. But I'm telling you, I love him to death. I might not have been able to hold this together myself without Robert Height. Brittany's down here working. Everybody stood by me to get me through this, and I'm excited. And I want to go back. Don Perdone's book, you got to read it. Love it. But I know the history. I grew up in Perdone. I've been yelled at, cussed at, and slapped by Don the Snake Perdone. He's my hero. To me, he's the greatest funny car driver there ever was. You know, just certain things don't change in my life. And Big Daddy Don Garlits, to me, is the greatest top fuel driver. Oh, better throw Shirley in there. She's right in that game.
Yes.
But these are my heroes. See, my time passed a long time ago. My sponsors peaked. They love me. They want to stay with me. I can sell Blue Death. I can sell Chevrolet trucks. I can sell Peak Motor Oil. I do what I do at 71 years old. And I'm in better shape now than I was a year ago. My brain, I worry about sometimes it sparks out. But I'm ready to go drag racing and pitch the gospel and set in that car, hit that throttle, 10,000 horsepower. You know, Daryl Gwynn knows the drill. There's another guy I love that I watched grow up. And I just can't wait to get to Florida. You think I kiss calves? I may go around kiss everybody.
Don't kiss anybody. The pandemic. Wait till after. Wait till after. Save it for once everybody's vaccinated. Then you can kiss everybody.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. That's right. Social distancing.
Yes.
See, look at Joe. You're right on top of it. You caught me right there.
There it is.
I'm happy to get back. I'm going to kiss the ground when I get there. I'll guarantee you that.
I know you're excited. All right, let's talk about it for my South Florida. For those that don't know, WFO Radio is based in South Florida. And if I go bracket racing, I go to Palm Beach. That's the track that I raced at growing up for the most part. You guys are going to be there testing. And I know a lot of our local community go to the Gatornationals, which will have limited access this year, but still a large crowd will be there. 50%, I believe, is the number. Check NHRA.com. But for those that can't, those that are in Palm Beach, you guys are going to be there testing and kind of resurrect that whole pro winter warm-up thing, which was very popular a few years ago. So tell us about what you're planning to do and what's that event going to look like as you guys get all sorted out. And these will be the first runs you've made since when? Arizona in 20? Like that's the first runs you've made?
Yep. You know, we have simulators in our shop that we get in the car. We build a simulator in Brittany's house so she can get in a dragster cockpit and hit the throttle and work on that Christmas tree. But you're right, we've been out of the car. You know, it's tough. You want to get back, but I know this car. I just know it. I've been doing it so long. I always joked I could drive it blindfolded. But I'll tell you something. West Palm Beach, the first time I ever seen an alligator that wasn't at Disneyland, I saw on a golf course in West Palm Beach. It freaked me out. And then I went there and they got them on their properties. You can go over and see. I always take the grandkids over. But it's a good surface. It's a good racetrack. The pro organizations going there. I think you can buy tickets. Get out there, be a part of it, see all the stars of NHRA. If you can't make it to Gainesville, but you better get over to the Gatornationals. That's quite a show. We got a Camping World there. There's going to be a lot of new exciting stuff. But get over there and see, you know, you'll see us test and race together at West Palm Beach, but you'll see us pounding the ground 330 miles an hour at Gainesville. And I think we may be testing there. Maybe Pro's going to put on a heck of a show in West Palm Beach, and that whole group is going to move on to Gainesville. And then you're going to get, you know, the show of shows. And boy, I can't wait to be there to see it myself and be a part of it, because I've been out of this too long. I'm never doing this again until they bury me.
Oh, well, I hope not. Oh, my goodness. That's the last thing we need is that. All right, the test, the Gatornationals, John Force. I find it hard to believe, though, that your team stood still during this time, especially a guy like Grubnick and Jimmy Prock. I'm thinking about those two guys in general. They had to approach you and say, John, we want to figure out how to go faster somehow. Just tell me a little bit about those two, both being at the absolute pinnacle of what they do. Grubnick's still at the front edge of his crew chiefing career, by the way. I can't wait to see what he's capable of. But what did the teams do? What did the guys that stayed on do so that you can come out of the box and win right away?
For financial reasons, I never cut anybody's wage. I had to lay some off. I call it fluff, but there was people that we needed to keep the shops going in California to keep them going in Indy. And I went from 90-something people, probably down to 50, and I'm guessing at these numbers, but I put them at same pay, but at 2.5 days a week. But there was guys, they just told me the other day, Barlam stayed there and worked all day, just wouldn't leave, and I kept him with me. Green moved on, and Green was great, went to another great team, but Barlam will run my top fuel car, or if it's a funny car, another one, it'll be a funny car. So he's with us. He'll be working on all of the teams racing, but they evolved when they went back home. They went to the machine shops and chassis shops. We got enough parts to run for a year. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And we just kept building stuff, blowers, blocks, superchargers, clutches. Lanny, Maglica, you can't even get him to quit working. And I had to tell these guys, by the law, you can only do so much, and you got to stay apart. And they did it. Nobody got sick. We got checkups a few times. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Prock, guys like him are always down there, Cunningham working, trying to build a new mousetrap to go faster. And Grubnick, even though he spent a lot of time up in the Dakotas, he was down. That's where he lives, but he'd come down to the shop, and they're all there now. Daniel Hood already flew there, and me and Robert. As soon as I get my shot in the arm, my second one today, where I feel mentally like at least I got a chance, then I'm going back racing because I've done all I can do, to protect the people around me and myself. And
that's responsible.
We kept it alive. It was great.
Yeah, that's responsibility, John. That's the right thing to do. And more people, hopefully all people, will think like that during these final days of this deal. All right, we want to let you go get that shot and get ready. But I got to ask you, this final question. I know about you doing the museum and you're looking for old championship cars and all that stuff, and it's going to be great. But I want to know, when you roll into, you're going to be in Palm Beach, but then you're going to go to Gainesville. What aspect of what you've always done are you most looking forward to? Is it opening that throttle on your first hit? Is it getting in the car? Is it pulling into the racetrack? There's got to be one moment that just connects to your soul and is the reason you've done all of this with your life.
There's a picture on my wall up here. Sarah might turn the camera to see here in a minute. It's me and my Wendy's Chevrolet and Don Perdome in the Army car at Orange County Raceway. And my wife standing in the background. Can you turn that where they can see it and get it back?
I see it.
You can see it right above Brittany's top fuel car.
Yes.
It's Orange County Raceway, Lions Country Safari. That was a sign off the freeway off-ramp. I didn't steal it, but I heard somebody did, but they sold it to me. But that was 100 years ago. And go ahead, turn it back. Thank you. What I'm saying is racing's what we do. And why did I do it? I wanted to wear a helmet. I wanted to hear the cheer of the crowd, and I wanted to race. I'm very competitive. And when I get in that car is when my life will come back together. Because right now, I'm not doing so good. I'm struggling mentally, and I need to get back in that car to find out who John Force is. And I want to win. That's always what we do around here. Robert Hite eats and sleeps it, so does Brittany. But I want to get in that car. I want to look at that team. I want to look at Daniel Hood. I want to set there. Fabrizi has moved up on my team now. He's been wanting to be a crew chief for years. He's backing up Danny. He knows my car inside and out like Danny. And I'm starting all over again, with my son-in-law leading. But what I want to do is get in that car, and I want to step on that gas, and I want to feel that rush that makes you alive. I know that sounds corny, but I've been doing it so long. I want to hit that gas. And I don't care if it smokes the tires. I don't care if it wheel stands. I don't care if it goes out there. But I'm going to say, I've lived driving on the edge, and I still will. But there's times I pushed it because I thought I was Superman. I thought I was special. And I woke up in a helicopter in the hospital a few times, and I realized you're not Superman. You can't just push this thing till you hurt yourself, because I did. I almost died from it. So what I'm saying is, I want to come back. I love all of you. I want to race with you. I want to come back on your show. I'm going on Bobby Bennett's show here in a few days. And what I'm saying is, I got to get back in that race car. And getting in that cockpit is what makes John Force tick. And everybody else in the world of drag racing, and my drivers, Robert and Brittany. So I'm good. I'm healthy. I'll get that shot today. If it don't tip me over, I'll see you real soon.
John, thank you for making the time with us. Really appreciate everything you've done over the years, obviously, for WFO Radio Podcast, coming on. So many great moments. Thank you. I'm going to let you go. Go get that shot. Go get ready so you can feel really comfortable down in Palm Beach and at the Gatornationals and start off Camping World Drag Racing with a hit. Good luck. Thank you for spending time with us today.
God bless you.
Thanks, John. Take care. There he goes. John Force, everybody, with us here on WFO Radio. He is the 16-time NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Funny Car Champion, an obvious friend of WFO. Put your comments in the comments section. I'll read them as we get on out of here. I do want to remind anybody that's new to this show to like our page, subscribe, click the bell if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, just like it. If you're on Twitter, then follow us, all that stuff. But this is a podcast. And we do a lot of audio-only content for people who are driving and who are over the road. I started out in talk radio. I worked on NASCAR radio for many years, but I've always been a drag racer. And I drag race on the weekends occasionally. And this is the sport that I love. And been so fortunate that NHRA has invited me to be a part of their show and do some announcing and social media work for the National Hot Rod Association. This is what I do during the week. And so check out WFO Radio Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, and never miss a show. We had Matt DiBenedetto talking NASCAR yesterday. We had Alan Reinhart talking NHRA drag racing. Fantastic episode with Leah Pruitt just a couple of days ago, where she talked all about what she's been up to for the last year or so, analyzed her crash from St. Louis last year. Ron Tobler, the retirement of Ron, Ron Capps will now drive with Dean Antonelli and John Medlin. Like, so many great things going on in the sport of NHRA drag racing, and we really try to go deeply into them here on WFO Radio. So like our page, check it out, SoundCloud, all that stuff. And big thanks to the people who genuinely make it possible. Look, I pulled these pictures. I didn't even get to use them. This is after John won his 150th national event win in Seattle. I was there for that. And I didn't want to show you this picture because I look so fat. Like, John lost some weight. I lost some weight, but my gosh, look at that. Like, it's all those cannolis, man. That's what it is. It's the problem. And this one, Force at the 2019 banquet, guys obviously styling. And this one, Brittany, helping us out on stage. And it's all different this year, and it's going to be super exciting. Big thanks to John Force. And we got to get him back. Selzy wants him back. We did that happy hour with Selzy a few months back, and Selzy wants him back. All right. Who are the people who make it possible? And then I will read your final comments, and then we'll get on out of here and finish the week on WFO Radio. Total Seal Piston Rings, leader in ring seal technology. Talking about Matt Hartford. If you're an engine builder, if you're a racer, if you haven't tried Total Seal, you're missing out. Simple as that. It's actually an intelligence test. TotalSeal.com, and check out the Hidden Horsepower podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. A lot of great engine builders sharing their secrets. Their secrets to success are available for free on Hidden Horsepower. And our great buddy Marvin Rodak, who is down there, whether he doesn't care, he is roasting coffee. He doesn't have power, but the roasters, he's figured out how to make them run. He's roasting coffee. 817-924-6821. So if you want to help a business person in Texas do something good, let's load up Marvin with a bunch of orders for coffee that are going to be shipped out all around the world and see how he deals with that. I endorse the hot sauce and the spice rub as well. What's up, Marvin? Hopefully you're doing well, bud. Samtech.edu, also in Texas, Houston area. Man, what's going on in Texas? I got to tell you, I'm thinking about you guys. Samtech.edu, School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Start your education at full speed. And March 19th, at Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, they've got the Dragster Adventure. You can drive a dragster. You can, all that stuff John Force just said about why he does what he does. Don't you want to see what he's talking about? Well, for $399, you can go to Frank's. They'll put you in a car, not a nitro car. Don't go crazy. A car that's acceptable for you to just jump in and them to give you a helmet and fire suit and you go race. And they will share that experience. And then you walk out of there knowing something you didn't know. You could bring your friends. You can even set up a race. FrankHawley.com. NitroFishRacing.com does our gear. Our 10th anniversary t-shirt is available on NitroFishRacing.com. And you can go to the website and get face coverings, WFORadio.com, just $10 each. And I throw in a bunch of WFO Radio stickers as well, because I want you guys to love this show. I just sent out the Patreons, got their free t-shirts finally They're en route, Patreons. The people on patreon.com who support the show and get exclusive content, they are now going to get their exclusive t-shirts. They're on the way. All right, let's see what people got to say. I only have to go through 40 comments. Don't worry, this is more than just an interview show. I always get excited when Force comes on because I know there's new listeners. As much as we've been going for 10 years, not every drag racing fan in the world knows about WFO Radio and that we're here multiple times a week. And when you have Force on, new people find out and maybe they'll like the site and they'll watch and they'll become a part of our madness. All right. This guy says, I could have shut off John's mic and let John loose. Yeah, I don't think so. John, can I have a job? Says joes.com. Yeah, well, I guess you'd have to specify what the job would be. Is the world ready for pent up John Force? I don't think so. Obviously, John was cool. Awesome team dedication. Well, Joe Barlam. There's a whole bunch of layers to the whole thing, right? Joe Barlam is a great guy and he loves drag racing and dedication is what I expect. I'm super excited that Red Wayne Wade is going to be back on Force's team. That's really the big thing. I should have asked John about. John Force, you need to modify your funny cars chassis and modify some other value concepts to go 299 ET at 400 miles per hour, fastest dragster in the world, says Zob. Did I say it right, Zob? And the answer is, yeah, no thanks. Garlett's told me that a long time. Hey, February 25th, Garlett's on this show. Right. What's that going to be like? Garlett's going to be on, folks. Hear that, listeners? Garlett's. Thank you, John. God bless. Can't wait to see you at the track, John. Absolutely. Welcome back, John. Go get it, says Eric White. What's up, Eric? John Force, God will always be with you. Always, amen. Yes. I'm telling. Let's see. Wade says, can't wait to see you back at the track. Exactly. Put that helmet on, John. I love that he turned it, and Sarah did such a good job with the slow pan over to see the photograph. I wonder if Richard Shute has got that photograph. First of all, I don't know for sure it's Richard Shute, but I'm guessing it is because the guy's auto imagery. The guy is a genius, and Rabilis wasn't alive. Could have been a Stassi, could have been, but I'm guessing it's Richard Shute. I wonder if that photo's for sale. This guy says he's Batman. John Force, you need to break the new record. Yeah, listen, we don't need twos, man. Maybe eighth mile, and we're already there. John, excellent. Get it, boy. I'm just a guy and sat out 2020. Hardest thing I've ever done in racing hardcore. Well, he is. John Force is the man that I saw get into his hot rod at Brainerd in 1986. He got in that car to win. He gave it 100% every time, all through the years. Absolutely. Brainerd. Can't wait to get back to Brainerd, guys. I'm super excited. Let's see. Gary, St. Augustine loves John Force. Florida is loaded with drag racing fans, as you can imagine. North Florida, especially with the Gatornationals, but South Florida, where I live, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Miami, West Palm Beach. Those people are going to be super excited. I, unfortunately, will not be able to attend, but for a great reason. I'm going to be at the World Door Slammer Nationals watching Pro Stock and Pro Modified cars actually compete. So if you're in the Orlando area, I think you got to go to Orlando Speed World Dragway and watch the stars of Pro Stock. If you are in the Palm Beach area, you got a tough call. If you're in the Miami area, I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do. Go to the Gatornationals and see everybody. Yeah, it's Florida, baby. Florida man goes to Orlando Speed World. What a great interview. Nothing like a little Force to make you feel good about life and racing. Thanks, James. I agree. No, John Force gets me motivated too. And you could tell the guy cares about what you all think, which maybe is not, you know, it's good, but maybe it's not the best. John Force genuinely cares what his fans think of him. And that is not shared by everybody in this kind of business, not drag racing necessarily, but celebrity and fame. Thank you, Warren. Another great interview. Yeah, we try over here. We've done a couple interviews in the over the years. Greg, may the Force be with you. Thank you, Greg. Awesome show, Joe. Thank you very much. Larry says, I was at that race at OCIR. He was at that race. You were not at that race. Show me your phone. Let me see the pictures of it on your phone, Larry. Send me the pics. I watch TV and I drive. Let's see. Great show. Joe says, Dale. Thank you, Dale. Love the show and all you do, Joe. Look forward to seeing you in Brainerd. Can't wait to be back in the zoo. And by that time, I'm hoping I will be vaccinated. I hope so. And we'll be getting back to normal. The process will be starting. Awesome show. Welcome back, JFR. Wait till Marcus gets a dose. Can we talk about Marcus Lemonis? I'm a fan of Marcus Lemonis, the prophet, but not so much the show as the way he handles the people. And being a guy raised in South Florida and working at Anthony Abrams Chevrolet in Miami, he learned the car lot business and has an appreciation for cars and automobiles. And if you've watched the show, you know that this guy, he, just like I said, he cares. He's got this thing that he cares. I don't know what he's going to make of the sport. He sent his people out there and they gave the thumbs up at the Gatornationals last year. But when he sees Nitro for the first time, it changes you. You all know that. It changes you. You're not the same person after you've experienced Nitro. It goes through your body in a way that nothing else can. And I'm excited for that. Not because he might do a show about it or give extra coverage or, you know, what his marketing savvy can do for the sport. I would love to have him on WFO Radio, by the way. Can we make that happen, somebody? Let's make it happen. Let's get Marcus on here. But this is what the sport needs. It needs more big personalities, just realizing exactly how passionate everybody is. Monica says, great interview. Thank you, Joe. No need to thank me. I'm as thankful to be here as well. Keep up the great work. Thank you for that nice comment. Tom Chuck says, great interview as always. I know you have been waiting to do that Force interview for a while. Yeah, the last time he was on, it was in like April, right? You were great on XM. Hey, we got another one, James. We got another XM listener back. The one great regret about my time at XM Satellite Radio prior to the big merger when I did NASCAR Radio and Power Shift and really launched this whole genre, right, of drag racing talk radio on Power Shift, is that there, you know, Facebook was barely a thing. So I was unable to transfer our thousands and thousands of listeners to my new podcast thing. And we had to grow organically. And it would have been so easy to just tweet out, right? I'm WFO Joe on Twitter. Hey, we're starting a new podcast, man. It's going to be great. Check it out. Podcast, WFO Radio. And all the listeners would have just gone over there. That was not possible in that moment. We had to organically grow whatever it is that our audience is, day by day, through blood and guts. So to get back someone who was listening on the XM days and remembers that time in my life, well, I'm happy you're back, James. Hit me up on the Facebook, man. We'll get you some WFO swag. Get you in on this. Thank you, Phil. Let's see. Even with all the sponsor plug, you can feel the emotion and the energy beaming from the man. Yeah, he's got to be excited, you would think. See, John, Flashover Racing. I had my John sign my helmet years ago, wore that helmet to 2 semifinal rounds and a final round. I need him to sign a new one to get the win. Yes, you got to get it. Come on, John, step up. Let's see. Great show, Joe. Force is the real thing. We know this, right? The guy's been doing it for a long time. The guy's awesome. And I just lost my space. Like, I got to go faster, man. I don't want to not do anybody's comment, right? This is it. It's passion. It's what it took to win. John Force could never be beaten. His excitement. Yes. We got to get Brittany back on the show, though. Here's Taylor. Taylor sighting. What's up, Taylor? Great show, Joe. My name didn't pop up yesterday, but I'll fix it. You fixed it now, Taylor. Taylor runs Competition Eliminator, guys. Do I have Taylor's photograph here still? I don't know. I might have deleted it, Taylor. You know, I only get limited photos. Taylor runs a WFO Radio sticker on his car for us here on WFO Radio. And yep, that one's no longer in the queue, Taylor. But he went to the final round at the first race of the 70th season of the National Hot Rod Association. So good luck, Taylor. Get done. I'm not going to pressure you about what happened in the final round. It happens to the best of them, bud. For the folks that don't know, you get extra stickers, not just WFO. What, when I send you a mask or something in the mail, don't tell people that. It's supposed to be a surprise, Derek. Would I give out extra? And maybe they don't get it. Maybe that was just for you. You just don't know. Now people are all going to be getting face coverings and stickers just to look for something extra, and it might not work. Frank May says, great show. Appreciate John's update and honesty. Looking forward to 2021. Yes. Best podcast from the West Coast. What's up, West Coast? Hopefully you guys are well. I can't wait to get back out there. I have tools and beer. Man, you're selling me. Garlitz, yes. Yeah, Garlitz has agreed to be on the show. As you know, I host the Hall of Fame induction for the past 2 years since Mr. Fry retired. And it is a great honor, but I use it as leverage to get Garlitz on the show. Simple as that. No secrets here, folks. That's what WFO is all about. We just tell it all. He needs to win the Texas Motorplex so he can conquer that track that almost took his life. Great interview, JC. Thank you, David Knapp, who's a Florida man also. John, it's going to be great having you back out there. See you at the Gators. Door Slammer Nationals can be off the chain. Yeah, and we'll be talking about that. I think I'm going to be back on Friday with Courtney Enders. That's the plan. And Wes Buck. Kidding, Wes. Let's see. Terry Buckley from Ocala. See you next month. Missed you, John Force, last year. NitroFever.com. Shameless plug. I was working on Dencham's car, and we lost first round. I was there. We'll send a picture. Dude, send me a picture. All classic drag racing photographs from your version are welcome. Just fire them off. We'll put them on the screen. That's it. We'll put them on the screen like this one of Tobler. Look at that. No, we had Tobler on. If you didn't see that one, speaking of drag racing history, just go right into our archive and check out the Ron Tobler interview. It was amazing. What are all the armbands? What are all the armbands on the mic? I see Eric Lane and Lagana Strong and the other two. Friends who have passed away or had, like this one is Kyle Seipel. He's still fighting and winning and fighting and all of that. Obviously, Dominic Lagana is back and walking. And this one is Eric, is Hop. And this one, let me tell you, Kuhar Strong, Bob Kuhar, Drink Hard Racing. You know, this was kind of the early days of and it says bleep cancer because we lost Kuhar to cancer. And Bob Jenkins, Bob Jenkins, who we all as motorsports fans know. Bob, I don't know, I don't expect you to be out there, but Bob Jenkins has got a big fight. And these are all of our friends. And, that's the downside of knowing so many wonderful people is that you deal with tragedy a little bit more often than if you don't know anybody. But it's worth it to know them. Let's see. First time Nitro changes your DNA. I agree it does. When is your next bracket race with the GOAT? All right. So I ran last week and I don't know if you saw that one, but since you've asked, I love playing the video and I want to justify what I did. So watch my first round race against a matching numbers 4-speed 1969 Camaro Z28, just because Eric asked. Why not? It's drag racing. Clear it out. Down into third. Here we go. Right RPM. There you go, but spinning the whole way. But a lot of spin, so I spun a lot. I'm going to air it out. Unless he's not coming. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. And I don't see a win light. I still haven't been able to figure out the win. Yeah, so I lost. Okay, I lost. You don't always win. I'm 0 for 5. I'm 0 for my last 5 now. It's like one of my longest losing streaks ever. But I'm doing it on the show, and it has been a fun experience. And so when is the next time? I probably would be after the Gatornationals. It was going to be after. I got the World Door Slammer Nationals. I've got the Gatornationals. I've got a lot of stuff coming up that I'm very focused on. So bracket racing is probably going to have to take a backseat for a little while. We'll do it then. Let's see. This guy. John listened in the XM days. We've had XM listeners that found us. Thank you. Everybody that was with me on XM, thank you so much. Run with the WFO sticker and your chances of winning go up. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Gary. What's going on? Love the Force interviews. It's like listening to someone try to herd cats. I feel for John. All those sponsors, all those people, they're all watching. They all want to hear their name. They all want to hear the guy, acknowledge them. And there's no way to do all of that. There's no way. Love the show as always. We're almost to the end. I hope John Force and his team kick some serious butt. Can't wait for the Mile High Nationals. I'm a big fan. Me too. And those are the comments. What tire do I run? Whatever's on there. I think it's, I don't want to say the name, but it's old. It's a very old. I need to get probably new rubber just because old rubber gets hard and it doesn't stick. You got it? All right, everybody. That's going to do it. Again, thank you very much for spending a little time with me and John Force. We had a great time. This is WFO Radio. We're here every week. Tuesday with Alan Reinhart. Wednesday, usually some sort of celebrity guest like this. Last week, it was Leah Pruitt, then Ron Tobler. Yesterday, it was Matt DiBenedetto. That one's on YouTube only. I put Matty D on YouTube only so we can juice up our YouTube subscribership. WFO Radio TV on YouTube, and you subscribe and click the bell, and you can see my Goes Bracket Racing video, and you can see our happy hour shows, and you can see Matt DiBenedetto, who drives for the Wood Brothers, and I thought Matty D was pretty cool. Our Ignition podcast is world-renowned. We have a lot of fun. We talk sports. We talk things other than racing. Make it onto the Ignition show. The people who make it all possible are great sponsors. Just let me flash these logos at you real quick. These people help me do this, especially the guys at Total Seal. And they let me do the podcast for them, and have just made some great friends over the years. I've had a great time talking drag racing on WFO Radio. And now we're getting close. Next week, who's going to be on? I think this Friday, we're going to have a nice little happy hour. By then, I should have it all figured out. In the meantime, the WFO Radio archive is loaded, like right now. If you're watching on Facebook, you can just scroll down on the WFO Radio Facebook page and watch any one of our shows. If you're an audio-only kind of person, the podcast is for you. WFO Radio, and if you're watching or listening on Apple Podcasts, please write us a review. Rate and review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got a podcast. And big thanks to John Force. He's hustling today. He didn't have to make time for us. John made time for WFO Radio, and I really appreciate it. The guy's the goods. Welcome back, John, Brittany, Robert, and all the teams. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you at the races, which won't be long. WFO.